Hi, I'm Dave Metz, and I'm here today to tell you about some exciting new lenses that are being introduced at the PMA show in Anaheim. Here at Sigma, we have 5 new lenses to talk about. But there's an even bigger story than that, and that is the fact that for the first time, Sigma is making use of a new kind of glass that's never been used before in a consumer photographic product. Originally designed for use in some other technologies and other industries, Sigma is now incorporating a glass that we're calling FLD, which is a special low dispersion glass which has optical characteristics exactly the same as the fluoride elements. And so we now have a lens that at much lower cost and much lighter weight will give you equivalent optical performance for a fluoride lens. And that glass is being employed in 3 of the new lenses that we're introducing today. And I'll tell you about each one of those individually. First lens I'd like to talk to you about today is one that our Sigma fans have been asking for quite a while, and that's this brand new lens. This is our new Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter 2.8 lens that now features optical stabilization. So our 70 to 200 historically has had a great reputation for optical performance and great image quality, but now we've added image stabilization to this lens. It's one of our EX series lenses, so it's designed for professional performance, and you can tell that by the gold stripe on the lens, with stabilization, dual mode stabilization, that gives you up to 4 stops advantage in terms of the ability to hand hold the lens. This lens comes with a tripod collar and is available for all the popular mount cameras in the market for Sigma, Canon, Nikon, Sony, and Pentax mounts. So it's a great new lens. And what's really cool about this is this lens has maintained a very, very small size. Typically, when manufacturers add stabilization to lenses, they kind of bloat in the middle, and this lens has it. It's very petite, and it's added nothing in terms of size or weight to our lens lineup. So that's the first lens. Remember, new glass and stabilization. That's the story on the 70 to 200. Let's take a look at the next lens. This is familiar to any Sigma user. This is our 50 to 500 millimeter. Great nature photographer's lens, 10 times zoom magnification ratio. But now what we've done with this lens is we've added stabilization. So for the nature photographer, you have 3 choices. You can get the Sigma 120 to 400, the 150 to 5, and now the 50 to 500 millimeter, all available with stabilization. So this is a great lens. Perfect backpacker lens, 10 to 1 zoom ratio, and incredible performance for close-up and macro photography. At 200 millimeter focal length, this lens will get you down to 1 to 1.3 magnification ratio, almost life-size magnification at the 200 millimeter focal length. This is not using the new glass. The story here, now we've added stabilization. Now let's take a look at something unique. Again, being introduced here at the PMA show in Anaheim, this is the widest wide-angle zoom lens available for a small chip APS-C camera. This is unique, and nobody else has this. This is an 8 to 16 millimeter zoom lens. So for the first time, the photographer using a small chip camera has the same wide-angle capabilities as somebody shooting with full frame. 8 to 16 millimeter is equivalent to a 12 to 24 on a full frame camera. So at 8 millimeters, your angle of view with this lens is 121 millimeters. If you take a look at the front of the lens, you'll see the extremely curved front surface, and you may think it's a fisheye. This is not a fisheye lens. This is a rectilinear lens giving you perfectly corrected rectilinear images. So this is unique and a Sigma exclusive. For the serious professional users, Sigma has addressed a fixed focal length, high performance, high speed lens. Following in the tradition of our 50 millimeter 1.4 that we introduced a year ago, we now have introduced 85 millimeter 1.4 lens, again available for the 5 major lens mounts. Extremely high performance, gold ring EX series lens 85mm 1.4. So if you're doing photojournalism or if you're doing portrait photography, it's a perfect focal length. It has a 9-blade diaphragm, so it gives very pleasant out-of-focus bokeh to your images so that you get those pleasing highlights behind the subject. The final lens to talk to you about today is a lens that is where we've taken our 18 to 50mm lens and kicked it up a notch. Now this lens has become a 17 to 50mm 2.8 lens, and the big news here is now we've added stabilization to this lens. So for the small chip camera user who wants to have a good all-purpose lens and doesn't want to use the manufacturer's kit lens, here's a serious lens, fixed 2.8 aperture with stabilization. For many photographers, this is all you need for 90% of your photography. So the story here with Sigma at this show at PMA is we have a lineup of 5 new lenses. Serious glass for serious photographers, and we think you're really going to enjoy using this. Sigma now has 12 stabilized lenses in the lineup with over 50 lenses totally available from Sigma. So thanks for coming, thanks for spending some time with us. We're all going to Disneyland.